Presented by Miller Lite and approved by the men of the Square Table. Good call.
It's broke, so right now just talked with the docs, and we're gonna probably do surgery within the next day or so, and you know, I'm gonna try to get back as fast as I can.
How long does it look?
I'm not sure, you know, so I mean, it could be anywhere from maybe 2 to 4 weeks. I feel like I'm a quick healer, so you know, it starts tomorrow. So once we have the surgery or whatnot, you know, the healing process starts.
Last time we were in Jacksonville talking about a Terrell Owens injury with Super Bowl 39, came back from the broken leg. 9 catches, 122 yards in the Super Bowl right there in that stadium. Here we are again talking about T.O. and our injuries. NFL Primetime in HD. Stuart Scott, Ron Jaworski, and the coach, Mike Ditka. Before we talk about Jags and Steelers tonight and every game yesterday, we got to talk about T.O.'s broken finger. He says he broke it on the first or second play of the game. The prognosis for Terrell Owens, out 2 to 4 weeks. Expected to have surgery on his ring finger on his right hand either late this afternoon or early this evening. Early this afternoon, Bill Parcells met with the media and discussed the procedure.
Most of those injuries, when they put a little plate in there, which I think they might do, you know, that pretty much fixes it. And it's just a question of what you can do. I mean, once they put that in there, it's not going anywhere. You're not going to displace it again. So it's just a question of, can you get it functional? This is not going to be an injury that's going to prohibit him from running and doing a lot of things that could really set him back conditioning-wise. So I think, you know, once he gets this thing in, he'll be pretty good to go physically, other than maybe just the utilization of the hand for a while.
T.O. had as many drops yesterday, 3 as he did catches. We bring in our own Cowboy, Michael Irvin. Michael, you talked to T.O. within the last half hour. What did he tell you?
Well, I talked to him, Stu. He was going into the surgery. He was going to have the surgery. And what he said is that it's not actually the finger, that it's a little bone behind the finger. And you heard Bill allude to it, that they're putting a little titanium screw in it, and he should be fine after that. He's looking forward to getting back on the field pretty soon.
All right, Michael, thanks a lot. You know, in training camp, T.O. made only 12 of 27 practices, nursing that sore hamstring, missed the first 3 preseason games. Coach Ditka, they called you Iron Mike. If you had a broken finger, would it take you 2 to 4 weeks to come back?
Well, I don't know. This is all different today. You got medical staffs who look at things differently. No, I think he should play. That's my opinion. But I'm just me. You know, I'm just trying to tell you that tough guys play football. Guys that aren't so tough, they take about 4 weeks off, and he may do it. Let me ask you a question. Who's the #1 receiver on that team?
Terry Glenn.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Right.
Yeah. Did I notice a little reluctancy on the part of T.O. to catch the ball over the middle, or was that my imagination?
We'll see that in a second. Now, the Cowboys, let's check out their schedule coming up. They have a bye next week before traveling to take on the 0-2 Titans in Week 4. Then, 3 weeks after T.O. broke his finger, the big game in Philly. You know he got to be back for that one, or so people would think. Jaws, Dallas without T.O., how do they cope?
Well, you know what? They have to make a minor adjustment. And the one thing about Bill Parcells, he's a veteran coach that knows how to adjust. And that's the key with T.O. out of the lineup. I think what you'll see now with Bill Parcells is staying with the power running game. Maybe a little bit more 2 tight end with Fasano coming in as a tight end. But as Coach just alluded to a moment ago, Terry Glenn through 2 games has 10 catches, 175 yards, and 1 touchdown. We haven't even talked about him. He'll now be the go-to guy, and we'll speak volumes from Terry Glenn.
Back when T.O. was in his first year with the Eagles 2 years ago, first 2 games, 12 catches, 4 touchdowns. This year, first 2 games with the Cowboys, 9 catches, 1 touchdown. Missing games, kind of a norm for Terrell Owens. In 2004, missed 4 with that broken leg. Of course, he came back and was an absolute stud in Super Bowl 39 right here in Jacksonville. 2005, an absolute nightmare season for T.O. and the Eagles. Missed the final 9 games due to suspension, then was deactivated. The soap opera that was this summer's training camp, Owens missed the first 3 games of the preseason thanks to a hamstring injury, and now just when we thought we could shift the focus to on the field, expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks. That's T.O. stuff. How about the entire Cowboys-Redskins game? How did it go down? First quarter, no score, 3rd and goal. After T.O. says he broken finger. Coach, how do you think that affected this play in the end zone?
Well, I don't really think that wasn't T.O.'s fault. This was a great play. It was made by the defensive back.
You got to
He
make
knocked
the
that
catch. You
ball out.
got to make the catch, Coach. Come on, wrap it up.
Bledsoe looking for Owens again. He dropped Jaws. As a quarterback, what do you think when your wideout is dropping balls?
Hey, you got to keep going to him. You got to develop that chemistry. You got to believe in him, and hopefully he'll come back and make some catches. Nice move by Bledsoe.
Kept going through him. Sean Taylor, if he hits anybody, you're going to drop the ball.
You're coming.
T.O. had 3 catches, 3 jobs. Now, last week, Bledsoe threw 3 picks. Last night, he went off. Coach, what was different?
Well, I think the guys are a little bit more open. I don't think Washington's a very good secondary right now. He had time to throw the football. That's the big thing. When you pressure Bledsoe, he will make mistakes.
Drew Bledsoe, 19 of 38, 237 yards. Here's a pass to that #1 wideout, you guys say, Terry Glenn for 34, and then Patrick Creighton getting his radar lock on in the end zone. 2 touchdowns, no picks for Drew. First quarter, 3rd and 4, the Redskins 27. As for the Redskins quarterback, Coach, why is Mark Brunell struggling?
Well, watch him. I mean, he looks like he's hesitant, and I really don't think he likes to get hit. I'm not saying that. Nobody likes to get hit. But my goodness, you're playing professional football. You get paid money. You're going to get hit once in a while. Stand in there and take a shot, throw the ball on line.
Brunell, 18 for 33, just 197 yards, 1 interception. Cowboys win the game, 27-10. NFC East was off the hook. Eagles trying to put the Giants in an 0-2 hole to start the season. On the opening kickoff, David
Bottled up. It looked like, the Eagles had him in control.
The first 3 quarters, the Eagles were just giving it to the Giants, up 24-7. They outgained the Giants 406 to 134. In fact, the Giants gained half of those yards in the first drive of the game. If they stopped the game after 3, then the Eagles would win. But they don't stop it at the end of 3. Fourth quarter, all about fumbles. Coach, how do you draw this play up in this play? Giants were down late. Jeremy Shockey got the catch, and personal foul on the Eagles. So, would have been a 50.
Sheldon Brown.
Black 6'6", 232. Sheldon Brown 5'10", 200 to being down 24-7 in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter and in overtime, the Giants outscored the Eagles 23-0. Outgained them 270-45. This is just the second time in the 81-year history of the Giants that they have won a game after trailing by at least 17 entering the fourth quarter. On the flip side of the Giants, the Eagles and their head coach, Andy Reid.
That loss right there is that's my responsibility. It was a nice job by the Giants coming back in the second half, but I didn't have our guys ready to go that second half, and that's completely my responsibility there.
Yo, here's how Eli got down in overtime. 8 for 8 in overtime. The best overtime percentage since Warren Moon went 11 for 11 in overtime game back in 1991. So, did the Giants win this game, or did the Eagles lose this game, guys?
Well, first of all, I got to give credit to the Giants, Eli Manning. It was a tremendous comeback, no question of that. But the Eagles blew this game. You have a 17-point lead going in the fourth quarter. You have to win. In the National Football League, you throw the football to score. The Eagles did that. Then you must run the football to win. They did not do that. They've got to find a way, Coach, to salt away a team when they got them down 17 points by pounding the football.
Well, I agree with you. They don't have the big back to do that. They got good back. But I'll tell you one thing. It was a bigger win for the Giants than it was a loss for the Eagles, because I believe the Eagles got balance and they'll bounce back. But the Giants really needed this win.
Tell you what, as an oh, by the way, Archie Manning never threw an overtime touchdown pass to win a game. Peyton Manning has never thrown an overtime touchdown pass to win a game. Little brother Eli has done something that big brother hasn't done, and something that dad hasn't done. Yo, what is your choice for yesterday's primetime performer? The Manning brothers as a duo, Rex Grossman, Warwick Dunn, or Drew Brees? Text 43776 for your choice. Standard messaging rates may apply. We're going to reveal ours later in the show. 3 teams with Super Bowl aspirations now, just trying to win a game. What's up with the Panthers, Bucks, and Dolphins, and who needs to start thinking about next year? Plus, Falcons are known for flying, but yesterday, pure dominance on the ground, why Tampa Bay could not stop Michael Vick and Warwick Dunn from setting a new franchise record. And moments ago, 90 seconds ago, Ben Roethlisberger walking on the field. He is expected to make his first regular season start this year, less than 3 weeks after emergency appendectomy surgery. If you flip the channel anywhere, we're going to rip out your cable.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite and approved by the men of the square table. Good call. And in part by GMC. We are professional grade.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. We got about half Jacksonville Jaguar fans behind us and half Pittsburgh Steelers fans behind us. And me, Jaws, and Coach can just sit up here sweating and talking about some highlights. A lot of people jump for that Panthers Super Bowl bandwagon, including me. Panthers, actually it's not the Panthers and Vikings. We're talking the Bucks and Falcons. Michael Vick was doing some work. Jaws, how do you stop a QB who runs a legit 4-4-4?
You don't. I mean, you can talk about contain, you can more heady football than anyone I've seen so far this season.
And still forget about the West Coast offense. Here's the ball, son. Have fun. If you got to run, run.
Look at this, though. Look at this. They're running the spread option there, Coach.
And Vic Texas played a young ran.
And Vic is reading that defensive end and doing a terrific job. Look at this. Once that end goes down, he reads them. He takes it to the outside. They have integrated this spread option offense, and Vic is flourishing because of it.
Here's what Warwick Dunn said. He said, quote, I don't think any defense can stop us. In this game, we had so many holes, it was like practice. Vic, 14 carries, 127 yards, 6 career 100-yard rushing games, still the most ever by a quarterback. And Warwick Dunn, 21 carries, 134 yards. Only the third time ever that a quarterback and running back have gone over 100 yards.
And they're playing D.
And we go inside the numbers. Falcons, 558 yards on the ground, third most in history in the team's first 2 games, trailing only the 75 Bills and O.J. Simpson and the 80 Lions led by rookie Billy Sims. Vic and Dunn have a ridiculous 441 of those. But it wasn't just Vic and Dunn that did the Bucks. It was the Bucks who did it themselves. Chris Sims is struggling.
First quarter, run, you can't win, and they can't run the football right now. You're throwing the ball 50-something times a game. You got problems. They're putting so much pressure on Chris Sims and the receivers, they can't get the job done. But they are not coming off the ball. They can't knock any holes on that line.
Well, it's about balance. You got to have balance on the offense, Coach. You can't drop back 53 times, get sacked 3 times, 56 dropbacks in the game. John Gruden has to do a better job of nurturing Chris Sims.
Sims went 28 for 53. He did go 313 yards, but 3 interceptions. And then he's just going to throw deep into double coverage. And if D'Angelo Hall is back there, you might want to rethink what you're doing. One of the best corners in the league. Stay there, right? Stay there, right? Stay there, right? No. D. Hall is going to bring it out. Falcons win it 14-3. A day after chastising his QB, John Gruden let up, but just a little bit.
I'm going to say that I see him working his butt off. This means a tremendous amount to him, and we're just going to continue to work with him, and hopefully he puts it all together. But clearly, I think the tip passes, you know, the interceptions are what turnovers are killing us. We got to get away from that quick, and if we don't, we have a problem.
Speaking of problems, the Carolina Panthers have some problems. Trying to avoid an 0-2 start at Minnesota. Can our brother get a questionable coaching decision? Fourth quarter, Vikings punting from their own end zone. 10 minutes ago, Panthers are leading 13-6. Why they called this? Chris Gamble fields a punt, runs left, spins, and throws across the field. What? The ball is loose. Jason Glenn comes up with it for the Vikings. John Fox, Coach Foxy, whose fault was that?
Really nothing on this team happens without me okaying it, and I okayed it. It obviously didn't work out. We have the option to abort that, but I'm not going to put that on him. That's my decision to take that risk, and I'll take that.
Coach, why make that call at that time?
They practice this play all the time, Stu, and if it's not there, you don't throw it. Now, I understand the player, it's a heated football game. You make an instinctive decision, but right now, the player's wrong, the coach is wrong. You probably shouldn't have called it.
I love this one, though, Stu.
Jaws, how do you draw up a trick play that works?
Well, this was a game won by special teams, obviously. The Minnesota Vikings did an outstanding job, and I love the courage of Brad Childress to make that call in a situation. I'll tell you, the team will get confidence in calls like that.
Ryan Longwell joins George Blanda as only guys ever to throw a game-tying touchdown pass in the fourth quarter and then kick the game-winning field goal. Vikings win it 16-13 in overtime. Bills Dolphins. Oh, Dante Culpepper. He is struggling. Coach, what was it yesterday?
Well, it's a matter of everything. First of all, you got to give the Bills a lot of credit. I think they're a lot better defensive football team than people gave them credit for being. And I tell you, they went after it. But Dante, hey, you got to have time. I don't care if you're the greatest football player in the world. Your receivers have got to get open, and you got to have time. What I think he has to do is get the ball to Randy McMichael and his backs a little bit more.
Jaws, how do you throw this pass with two guys, defensive guys, looking at it?
Well, when you're struggling, Stu, what I call is a seeing ghost. You're not seeing the field clearly. Right now, there is no clarity from Dante Culpepper. Right now, he's more concerned with running his offense than worrying about his opponent's defense.
Dante Culpepper, fourth quarter, Dolphins down 16-zip. More trouble, a lot of time, doesn't get rid of the ball. Sacked by Chris Kelsay. He was sacked 7 times yesterday. In 1988, Dan Marino was sacked only 6 times all season. Today, Nick Saban talked about his current QB's mobility.
He's more mobile than lots of quarterbacks that play. He's just not as mobile as he used to be. And he has to understand and manage that.
These 4 teams, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Panthers, Redskins, all teams with high expectations before this season, all 0-2. Now, the good news for these 4, they all play teams that are also 0-2 next week, including the Panthers-Bucs showdown in Tampa. But the Bucs, Panthers, Redskins, all 0-2. For only the 3rd time ever, you got 3 teams from one conference who made the postseason the year before who start this season 0-2. Now, you add in the Dolphins from the AFC. Which of the 0-2 teams need the most help?
Well, I tell you what, the Panthers need to get Steve Smith back. That's what they need. If they can get Steve Smith back, they'll be all right. The Bucs, I don't like what they're doing. I really don't. And I don't think they're going to be a good football team this year.
Well, to me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, John Gruden and Chris Sims must get on the same page. John Gruden must manage Chris Sims a lot better than he's managed him right now. He can't ask him to drop back 56 times. 3 of those dropbacks were sacks. What he's got to do is trust Chris Sims, manage his game better, and obviously get him some help with the running game. And also, back off a little bit on Chris. We saw those sideline shots. He's only started 14 games. Come on, give the guy a break.
Yeah. There is some hope for these teams, and there's also hope that we're all going to win the lottery. But in this current playoff format, since 1990, only 3 teams have ever made the playoffs after starting 0-3. The last one, the 1998 Buffalo Bills. All right, all day, every Monday, we got teams at the 20. We're going to check in with all teams 20 minutes after every hour. We're going to start now. Ed Werder has the word on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ed?
Well, Stuart, Ben Roethlisberger came over on the Steelers' first bus. He's been out on the field throwing for the past 10 or so minutes. I spoke to him. He refused to reveal whether he was going to play in this game. However, I just talked to a prominent Steelers offensive starter who told me he will indeed start and play the entire game as scheduled anyway, to play the entire game as long as he's not re-injured. The other interesting thing, Stuart, is that he not only has to overcome the appendectomy that he had 15 days ago, he's also been suffering from flu-like symptoms all day.
Thanks a lot, Ed. Ben Roethlisberger, youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Still ahead here in NFL Primetime. Just like that, New Orleans off to a 2-0 start. But are they for real? And are they a surprise NFL powerhouse, or is it just a fluke? The Saints, for real or not? That answer coming up next. Plus, fans here in Duval County. That's what they say here in Jacksonville. Duval County, getting ready for the biggest primetime game since Super Bowl 39.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Saints and Packers from Lambeau. Jaws, why did Brett Favre look like the Brett Favre of old?
I'll tell you what, after the disappointing performance week 1, he was stroking it, Stu. And you know what I like? He was setting his feet. Fundamentally sound. We don't usually say that about Brett Favre, but watch the ball come out of his hands. Good rotation, good accuracy, played very well in this matchup.
46th career 300-yard passing game, 399 career touchdowns, but the Saints had more offensive sauciness. It's another word, Coach, offensive sauciness.
That's a big word.
This play right here, he only gained 5 yards. He made more moves than most people make in a career. This is as good as you'll see. This is what this guy's all about. You put him in space, somebody's going to miss, and it probably ain't going to be him.
More Reggie Bush out of the backfield. If you're a linebacker, Jaws, and you're trying to cover this, what do you do?
Oh, man, you say, please come on, posse, help me. I can't handle this guy all by myself. Did you? Oh, he's got some Zuzu.
Reggie Bush, 8 catches, 68 yards, and Zuzu. Drew Brees got some Zuzu of his own. Jaws, when a quarterback sees a linebacker matchup with the wideout, what do you do?
Oh, you say, I got to get him the ball. That's what you do. That's a matchup, and football is all about matchups. That one favored the Saints.
Well, I tell you, Brees is playing super football also, really throwing the ball well.
Drew Brees, 34, 353 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Saints go 2-0 by winning it 34-27. Great story brewing down in New Orleans. They start 2-0, both wins on the road for the first time in team history. Reggie Bush getting the ball every which way you want it. 2 games, 43 touches, 15 catches, 250 yards. And next week on ESPN's Monday Night Football, next week, they play their first home game since December 26, 2004 in New Orleans against the 2-0 Falcons. It's going to be a bananas game, right, Drew Brees?
I expect it just to be absolutely crazy. You know, I've heard from the guys that it's crazy anyway, but Monday night, first home game after Katrina, we're 2-0, they're 2-0. I mean, does it really get any better than that? Divisional opponent, it's going to be awesome.
Now we're 2-0, and that's just the first steps into turning this organization around. You know, turn into a winning organization.
All of our Monday night coverage starts next week with a special Sports Center at 3 o'clock. We'll be in New Orleans, a city recovering from the worst U.S. natural disaster ever, a city that's rebuilding, a stadium opening, a Savior Heisman Trophy winner, a great quarterback in Michael Vick and Drew Brees, and 2 2-0 teams. You got to be there. Now, for the Saints 2-0. Are these Saints for real, guys? Josh?
You know, I believe they're getting better, Stu. I don't know if they're for real as a playoff contender, but I love some of the things that Sean Payton is doing. Number one, he brought in a quarterback that stabilized the football team, that will give you consistent play week in and week out. And since day one that Sean Payton took over in New Orleans, he was selling his program, selling his team. And the fact that they are now 2-0, the players will buy in to the fact that, hey, if we believe in the coach, we can win. The players now believe him.
Oh, I agree with you. Bush, Brees, McAllister, Horn, Cromwell, they got skilled people. The question will come on the defensive side of the ball. In the secondary, I believe that's where they're going to have problems. If they don't have problems there, this is going to be a heck of a football team. Hey, 3-0, why not?
You know, you might look at Reggie Bush, 5 carries, 6 yards yesterday and think, oh, he had a rough game.
No.
For this guy, it's about touches. 15 catches his first 2 games. Most catches by a rookie running back after 2 games since 1980. The most NFL flavor since 1979, our own Chris Berman. Chris, boom, and the Monday Night Countdown crew getting ready to roll, guys.
All right, Stu, welcome inside the stadium here at Alltel, where I'm happy to report it's just as humid. I got 3 shirts, so don't you worry about it. We got our summer suits, and we're ready to go for the last full week of summer. Chris Berman, Steve Young, Michael Irvin, Tom Jackson, huh?
Yeah, nice.
What do we think, huh? Nice.
It's our last shot.
Nice view here. We can see if the field goals are good or not. But let's first look at, let's go back to yesterday, all right? Game breakers. We have some fun with these. If we look at quarterbacks from yesterday, Steve.
Yeah, we have some great ones here. First of all, you saw the big comeback to win the game. Eli Manning, my first game breaker. My next game breaker. Wouldn't you know? Peyton Manning, I know it's the Texans, Michael, but in the end of the day, this guy owns the regular season. Yeah, he needs to own the postseason, but in the regular season, he's Da Vinci, he's Raphael. And hey, if you have 2 kids as a game breaker, you're my game breaker of the day, Archie Manning.
Oh, my God. Come on, man.
Next time they have 2 kids, you put them in the game breaker, their dad gets in. Archie, one of the all-time greats.
All right, let me give you my skill players. Thank you, Steve Manning. We appreciate that. I want to start out with Antonio Bryant, who had 4 receptions for 131 yards yesterday.
What
Antonio
numbers is he wearing with the Niners, Mike?
He's wearing that 81. You know,
I just was wondering.
It's just 81, you know, and he was yelling at his quarterback. That 81 must be the number. Must be the number. Number 32, Rudy Johnson. He 26 rushes for 145 yards against the Cleveland Browns yesterday, and I mean, Rudy just ran well. And this guy right now, odds-on early favorite for an MVP. If he continues to play like this, the two best teams against the run, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, he has killed them. Not killed, killed. Is that a word?
Michael, I'm going to go to my defensive game breakers, and I'm going to start off with a Raven. How could you not? They only gave up 6 points this year thus far. Adalius Thomas, 7 tackles. He also had an interception on the day right there. You feel like he was the best Raven on the football field, but no, he was not. So my number 2 game breaker, also a Raven, Terrell Suggs. He also comes up with the 7 tackles, 2 sacks against the Raiders. Obviously, the Raiders did not have a good day. And then we switch fields, even in a losing effort. Julius Peppers with 8 total tackles, 3 sacks, a blocked field goal. He was playing by himself. He tried to win the game. Even in a losing effort, Julius Peppers, my number 1.
I've got some boys to give out. You know how you script the first 15 plays? Attaboy to Dick Duran. He scripted the first 15 defensive plays. 5 sacks of Culpepper for Buffalo against Miami in the first 15 plays. Oh, by the way, Dick Duran, defensive and head coach in Culpepper's division all those years. When you rush for 558 yards in 2 games, 306 yesterday, Jim Mora, the line, Warwick Dunn, Michael Vick. I mean, how many yards are they going to have rushing at the end of the year at this pace? But my number 1 to Brad Childress, letting Ryan Longwell throw for the tying touchdown to Richard Owens. There's R.O. Richard Owens, Mike, caught the touchdown to tie the game. By the way, it was Julius Peppers. Almost got him. I had to show that again, Tom. That was Julius Peppers off the line that almost came and got him.
Yes, they should suit up. They should put Julius Peppers behind the center.
Yes, yes.
By the way,
couldn't hurt.
By the way, Longwell threw for the tying score, kicked the winning score. Only other person ever to do that. Throw for the tie, kick for the win.
Blanda.
George
Blanda.
Thank you.
Very good. Tom and I have been together for 20 years, by the way. Speaking of 20 years, 30-30. This is John Butchergrass with the update, John.
Only 10 for me, Boom. Let's begin with Terrell Owens' surgery on his right finger late this afternoon, early evening. The Cowboys coach, Bill Parcells, believes that the plate that they put into his broken right ring finger could get him on the field quickly. Maurice Clarett is going to jail. He agreed today to 7.5 years in prison, could be released after 3.5. Also agreed to serve 5 years of probation. Next Sports Center after football, Stu.
Thanks a lot, Butch. Hey, with the passing game up in the air with the loss of Deion Branch, Tom Brady's still not letting New England's offense be grounded. Find out exactly how the Pats QB keeps the ball moving. And about 7 minutes ago, Ben Roethlisberger showed he's going to try and keep the ball moving. We think tonight, Big Ben, 63% completions last year, 17 touchdowns, 9 picks. His first start, again, we think, this season. Hey, right here in Jacksonville, you're looking at Richard Ogulia, a Marine, Steeler fan, on leave from Iraq, checking out his first live NFL game tonight. Big ups. Oh, great. Richard Ogulia. Love it. All my Marine boys. Back to action on Sunday. Patriots and Jets. Bill Belichick, teacher. Eric Mangini, pupil. Tom Brady, flavor. So he has no wideouts to throw to, huh, Jaws?
He finds a way to get the ball. You know why, Stu? He throws the ball accurately. Anyone can catch it.
Last week, Tom Brady only completed 4 passes to wideouts. This week, he was just wideout silly. Brady, 15 of 29, 220 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And yes, ladies, I guess he's still hot. I guess that's what they say.
Well, I tell you one thing. He's going to make a lot of these guys household names before he's done. People don't know who they are right now, but before this season's over, they will know. And he'll make those 2 tight ends a heck of a lot better.
That was a touchdown to Jackson. Meanwhile, the Patriots running backs. Hey, Coach, Corey Dillon, Lawrence Maroney, what do 2 backs do for you?
Well, I tell you what, it does a lot when you got 2 of this caliber. This is Mr. Inside, Outside. But the question about this is they both can go inside and they both can go outside. What a threat.
Combined 145 yards for Corey Maroney, I guess. Can we say that? Corey Maroney or Lawrence Dillon? Whatever.
Very creative.
Flavor. Patriots win it 24-17. Chiefs and Broncos. First team to score touchdown wins, or maybe nobody scores a touchdown. Jake Plummer under fire after his week 1 performance. Not much better week 2. Third quarter, rolls out, throws well behind Tatum Bell. The crowd booed Plummer. He threw only 7 picks all last year. He's got 4 already this year. Coach, what's wrong?
Well, I tell you what, he's forcing the ball. There's no question. The other thing is they're not running the ball as effectively. Here's the good news. Up in Denver, the defense has not given up a touchdown. The bad news, the offense hasn't scored one.
3rd and goal, no completion, not even in the area. Mike Shanahan not happy. Broncos kick the field goal to tie it. In overtime, Jaws, how does a guy who has 1,300 yards receiving 1 year, how does his overtime flavor on his resume help you?
Well, it helps you big time because the quarterback has confidence, you knew. Throw it up, make the catch. Javon Walker goes up, brings it down, sets up the game-winning field goal. That's trusting a wide receiver.
Against Ty Law, too.
Jason Elam, 39-yarder is good. Hey, the Broncos, the first team ever to not commit 1 single penalty in an overtime game. They won it 9-6. Ravens hosting a Raiders team that's about to be in some serious trouble. Aaron Brooks is struggling. Coach, why can't they get him going?
Well, there's too many problems right now. Philosophically, they're in the 60s. They're dropping back 5 steps.
Where?
60, 50.
Holy cow!
They got no chance. Their line cannot protect anybody. The receivers aren't getting open. There's no separation. I mean, this is not a good football team.
Brooks went out. Ravens defense stayed filthy. Ray Lewis, 22 career picks, 2nd among active linebackers. That was Andrew Walter who came in and threw the pick. Jaws, if you're an offensive guy facing Baltimore's D, are you scared?
Well, you know what you got to do, Stu? You got to shorten those drops. You can't give that edge rusher the ability to come around the outside, go to the 3-step drop, go to the 5-step drop, have the quarterback get the ball out of his hand. At least you have a chance that way.
Ravens forced 6 turnovers. They got 6 sacks. They've allowed 6 points in 2 games. They win it 28-6. You know, Al Davis likes to say, just win, baby. How about a new motto, just lose? The Raiders have been a mess, outscored 55-6, last in the NFL in total offense, yards per play, completion percentage, and sacks allowed. As we've been telling you all day, every Monday, we're going to check in with the teams at the 20, Sal Palantonio, 20 minutes after the hour with the latest on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sal?
Well, the Jaguars expect Ben Roethlisberger to play. I talked to Jack Del Rio a few minutes ago, and he said, we expect him to play. We've been practicing as if he will play all week long. And the thing he told his defensive line is, Roethlisberger's a different quarterback than Charlie Batch. It's tough to get Ben down. You got to make sure you've got to grab him, hold him down, because he will make plays from the pocket, give him by himself some time, and throw the ball deep. And before you know it, you got a big play on your hands. As for Byron Leftwich, this is his debut on Monday Night Football. And I asked Jack, what specifically did he say to Byron about playing in his first Monday Night Football game? He said, we practice hard, we get after each other. I'm not worried about it. He will be fine. Stu?
Thanks a lot there, Sal. Yo, there's Tony Kornheiser's bus. That's how he rolls to Monday Night Football in the booth for the Steelers and Jags tonight, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN HD. Still up, a few quarterbacks lighting up the scoreboards yesterday and making geniuses out of fantasy owners. The signal callers that owned week 2 coming up next. And the big showdown in Philly just 3 weeks away. T.O. against Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. But will Owens' injury keep him from the game? The coach and Jaws square off straight ahead.
Fantasy Ticker, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Some more football from around the league with some quarterback flavor. Hey, Jaws, remember when the Texans drafted Mario Williams because they said they wanted to stop Peyton Manning?
They didn't want to stop Peyton. Yeah, well, they didn't, Stu. Really? Really? Threw for 400.
7th career 400-yard passing day, 2nd all-time. Hey, Bengals, Browns. Coach, what do you like best about Carson Palmer?
Everything.
I agree.
Carson, 352, 24-40, 2 touchdowns. Bengals win easily. Chargers, Titans, Phillip Rivers, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And by the way, San Diego, the first team since 1960 to go the first 2 games of the season without committing a turnover and not allowing a single sack.
And Phillip Rivers has grown up fast.
Speaking of growing up, so the Bears still need a quarterback, guys?
Ask Coach Ditka. He knows all about the Bears quarterbacks.
listen, right now, I'll tell you what he's found. He's found some other receivers beside Muhammad. He's got the ball to Bernard Berry in here. Big play, touchdown, second one of the year. He's found the tight ends. He threw to 7 different receivers in this game.
Rex Grossman, 289 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Bears roll. Hey, Rams, Niners. Antonio Bryant trying to get on the same page as Alex Smith. Second quarter, Alex Smith looking for Bryant, overthrows it. Bryant not happy. Jaws, should a wideout ever show his displeasure about a bad throw?
Ever. Antonio Bryant did not know the pressure Alex Smith was under. Yeah, you stand back there, 6 guys trying to beat on you. You never do this. I won't throw you the ball, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Bryant. He is a loose cannon, but he is a good football player. Here's a guy that's improved. Alex Smith, 1,000% over last year. He's playing great football. He's the guy he was at Utah.
Antonio Bryant, 131 yards receiving and a touchdown. And you saw veteran quarterback Trent Dilfer earlier. Dilfer was in Bryant's ear, probably telling him, Jaws, what you just said.
That's exactly why Trent Dilfer is with the 49ers. He brings that wily old veteran leadership, will calm a high-strung guy like Antonio Bryant down. Later in the game, you see the result. Smith to Bryant, touchdown.
And the Niners beat them 20-13. Cardinals, Seahawks, Edgerrin James, and the Cardinals had a rough time against their division rival.
Well, if you can't run the football, I think Edge is wondering, why did I leave Indianapolis?
Oh, you're right, Coach.
You are not going to run for 1,500 yards behind this offensive line and with this offense, so get over it.
Edge finished with 64 yards on 18 carries, just could not get on track. Kurt Warner had his struggles as well. He looked great last week, Jaws. What happened this week?
Well, it's about pass protection. You get a high step, bodies around the quarterback, no cradle to throw from. I don't care who the quarterback is. If your offensive line is not giving you time to plant, step, and throw, you're in for a long day.
Matt Leinart could have handled that situation.
Oh, here we go again. Leinart would be in a hospital.
Kurt Warner dumped right there. Julian Peterson coming off the line.
Come on, you gotta be able to get away from somebody.
Nobody.
Warner, 24.
Matt Leinart would have moved right out of the way. Come on.
He was sacked 5 times. Cardinals lose to the Seahawks. Said Dennis Green, we're not as good as them. I think they are indeed the #1 team in the National Football Conference, and we are not.
Hello.
Final score, 21-10. Yo, an even bigger deal in Philly this year than Santa coming to town, T.O. coming to town. But I missed him squaring off. That's coming up next. And these fans will not miss tonight's Monday night game. These two teams, tough, hard-hitting, the kind of football they love in Pittsburgh and J-Bill.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Byron Leftwich, 13-6 in his career as a starter here at home. Now, time for the Miller Lite square-off. We got Coach, we got Jaws, Terrell Owens, 725 career catches. Will he up that total? Will he play? Will his broken finger allow him to play in 3 weeks when the Cowboys face his old team?
Dude, let me tell you, the only people that want him to play, T.O. to play more than T.O., that's the Eagles' defense, because they're going to put some lumps on him on that day. When he comes over the middle, watch out, Brian Dockett. Bang!
Will he play, though?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Oh, Coach, you got to be kidding me. There is no doubt Terrell Owens will play in Philadelphia in that game. Now, the coach said the Eagle defense wants him there. I know the Eagle fans. I live in Philadelphia. They want T.O. back in this city. They are all lathered up. They are geeked up for the T.O. return.
I can only say one thing. I noticed a little bit of the feet slowing down, the hands going like this when he was coming inside last week. Now, you come back, Brian Dawkins, number 20. Watch out,
number 20.
Knockout shot.
I wonder if any of the Eagle fans will say anything that you can't really print in a newspaper during that game.
Never,
I'm just curious.
They wouldn't do that.
Here's how you know T.O. is a money player. His 725 career catches, 22nd all-time. But his 102 career touchdown catches, 4th all-time.
Square Off is brought to you by Miller Lite. Join the Square Off debate online at espn.com.
Everybody might turn it off. They won't watch it.
Ben Roethlisberger with Pro Bowler Hines Ward. This is how they do it in pregame warm-ups. Will they do it in the game? Monday Night Countdown coming up at you really soon. We got a little bit more to go. Don't go anywhere.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite and approved by the men of the square table. Good call. And in part by NFL.com. Log on and watch all the highlights from every NFL game this season. It's all on NFL.com.
That's all we got. The fans are crazy. It's time for Monday Night Countdown right now. The NFL is back in New Orleans, and we are all over it. The Superdome open for business once again, and 2.5 hours, this building will be rocking for the Falcons and Saints. And the Saints have already marched in. Rookie star stud Reggie Bush and the emotional leader of this team, Joe Horn. And the fans have been waiting for more than a year for this, more than a year to say this. A real home game at home. And we're bringing it all to you. NFL Primetime, a mix of emotion, rededication, and what still has to be done. Live from the Big Easy right now. Has the steel curtain dropped on the defending Super Bowl champs? Why Big Ben and the Steelers do not look like repeat material. First the blow up, then the blow out. After the Giants get pounded in Seattle, Jeremy with the shocker for his coach.
Yeah, outplayed and outcoached. Right, that one.
The super fast legs from the Dirty Dirty or the Heisman winner turned superstar Saint. Who's more electrifying to watch, Vic or Bush? Helmets on, pads pulled tight. We're baking down and busting up. Week 3 NFL Primetime is on.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite and approved by the men of the square table. Good call. And now, here's your host, Stuart Scott.
A lot of respect in a building that has hosted 6 Super Bowls. Maybe no more excitement even for those games than on this night. Welcome to NFL Primetime. Stuart Scott alongside Ron Jaworski and the coach, Mike Ditka. We are celebrating the reopening of a building 392 days after Hurricane Katrina destroyed this city. While we celebrate, we also have to remember that 80% of this city is still damaged, still ravaged, still feeling the effects of the hurricane. Guys, I know this is emotional for all of us. Coach, you coached here. You were a part of 3 Super Bowls here. Jaws, you were a part of 1 Super Bowl here. What's it like actually being here for a game?
Well, right now, I feel honored to be here because this is a part of the National Football League. This is going to be a new era for the New Orleans Saints, and hopefully it's a winning era.
Tonight, life will be defined by something that is regained, and that is the New Orleans Saints and the Superdome. Stuart mentioned a moment ago, about 80% of the city is still under devastation. But I'll tell you, we had a chance to spend 2.5 hours going around the city, and the one thing you understand, the people are very resilient. They will be back. New Orleans will be back. I, like Stuart and the coach, we're proud to be part of it today.
You know, you mentioned that tour that we took, and there are so many areas of this city, Lakeview, the Marina, the lower 9th Ward, areas where it still looks like that the hurricane just came through here a week ago. Houses and homes that are destroyed, that are empty, and people have yet to even move back in. It's emotional stuff for everyone involved here, but to a man and a woman, the people say that this game tonight will help. Right here in the Superdome, this was a scene 13 months ago, like the rest of the Gulf Coast, ravaged by Hurricane Katrina, used as a shelter in the days following the storm, and then had to be evacuated. And this in the Superdome, following $185 million worth of work to get this thing ready, all set for the return of the NFL, which is just 2.5 hours away right here in New Orleans. We'll show you the reopening of the Superdome doors live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The Saints are home, finally.
I think it's just that feeling that, you know, you're kind of making history, and so few people get that opportunity. And so for us to be able to do that is once in a lifetime.
I think a lot of people are just happy the fact that New Orleans is being seen. Okay, it's happening here. Everybody should want to be here. The big light is on the city.
And now to sit in here on Monday night and to be open, redone. I'm back here in my house. Monday Night Football. Our team is back here. That says it all.
I want to remember this night with a win. That's how you make this night special.
You know, there are a lot of survivors, emotional survivors, physical survivors in this city. You see the homes that are left standing. People either evacuated early or evacuated late, or they died. And it is because of that that this game means so much to this city. When you talk to the people, what are you thinking? What are you getting a sense of?
Well, you think about the magnitude of what happened here. And look out here tonight. Look at these people. What are they behind? They're behind this organization. This organization, the New Orleans Saints, belongs in this city, and this city belongs in the National Football League. That could never change. These are the most resilient fans you've ever seen. And besides being great fans, they have fun, and there's nothing the matter with that.
You know, sports brings people together, and I think when you think of football, it will bring the people of New Orleans together. You know, when you think of season ticket holders, year in and year out, people sitting next to each other, they talk, and they look forward, you know, through the summer saying, oh, I can't wait till the football season starts, I'm going to get to see Joe or Mary or John at that first Saints game. Well, they didn't have that opportunity to do that last year. Tonight, they have that opportunity. And the disappointing thing is some of those people they sat to historically